Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. What a year it's been. We're all blessed to be here today in community. Just think about a year ago, we were still trying to figure out how to get through a global pandemic. I am privileged to be here today to share my journey with you all. My furthest memory takes me back to my uncle's car garage, where my parents, older brother, and I lived for the first few years of my life. My parents migrated from Michoacan, Mexico, where I was born, and I was brought here and documented at the age of 1. My father served in the Mexican police force in high crime areas of Michoacan. I believe he struggled with PTSD due to many of his lived experiences within this setting. He often displayed uncontrollable, violent, and aggressive behavior, and consequently, domestic violence was very present in my household growing up. This resulted in his incarceration and having to grow up with a single mother for some time. My mother was a hustler. She worked as a cashier at a Paisano market on Middlefield for many years. She was always running around, taking us to and from school, doctor appointments, and she would even find time to take us to the park a few times a week. And this was all on foot. She used to borrow those shopping carts and push my older brother and I to the park. Always positive and with the strongest will I have ever witnessed. I went to Garfield Charter School for elementary and middle school. I enjoyed some subjects. Math was my favorite. I like solving problems and challenging my mind with calculations. I also played soccer for a long time. However, I was always in trouble at school, often in detention and suspended. Looking back, I struggled with behavioral issues, likely due to growing up in such a stressful environment. My behavioral issues worsened in middle school and up to my high school years. I ended up spending lots of time on the streets and dropped out of high school during my sophomore year. I also ended up spending time in juvenile hall due to getting in fights and neglecting school. I was lucky enough to have reached that fork in life where I knew what was ahead of me if I continued down this path, which was death or prison. These were the only two options. So I had to make a change for myself, my family, and especially after seeing my younger brother following in my footsteps. I attended a community school, the alternative high school that was housed here at the Boys and Girls Club. This must have been over 15 years ago. Mike Jones was already here. I believe he was here long before then. I swear Mr. Jones is immortal. Mike Jones. Jones. I always appreciated the respect, dignity, encouragement, and support he gave my peers and I. Even though to many out there, a lot of us might have just been some street kids that didn't deserve any of this. Mike Jones believed in my peers and I in the same way that I am certain he believes in you all. And he will likely believe in many future youth to come. I prepared for and took my GED exam here at the club and was provided resources by staff. They even brought the exam proctor to me here. I ended up earning my GED from this probation school. I was terminated from juvenile hall months before my 18th birthday. I cut all my old ties and friendships with peers because I understood the influence that this could have on me, and I wanted to stay out of trouble. This was, in all honesty, probably the hardest part of this journey. You go from having all of this brotherhood on the streets to becoming extremely lonely. There was no alternative at this point if I wanted to pursue something greater for myself, my family, and my community. I enrolled in community college and began interacting with all kinds of different people from all backgrounds. I found new friendships and had to redefine many things in my life and let go of this street creed. I enrolled at Kenyatta College with the intention of acquiring knowledge and tools that could help me help my community. I was there for about 7 years on and off, sometimes having to work in between. This was tough due to having been undocumented most of my life. Up until the age of 25 when I was approved for DACA, right before transferring to UC San Diego. I initially believed that I would help my community by making a lot of money, but then I quickly realized, and I had declared a major in economics. But then I quickly realized that it would be knowledge and health education that could be more effective at alleviating many of these issues. I graduated in 2017 with a major in human biology and with the intention of applying to medical school. I returned home after graduating and had a difficult time finding paid work related to my medical interests right away. I ended up doing all kinds of work, from food delivery, tree service, and all kinds of other manual labor. Now, I want to make it very clear there is absolutely no shame in any of these kinds of work. Todo tipo de lucha honrada es muy digna de respeto. All kinds of hard work is very respectable. I bring it up because I want to drive the point that even though I wasn't lucky in finding opportunities that I was interested in that could help me move forward in my career choice right away, many of you have access to such a valuable network with the Boys and Girls Club that could help propel you forward. Nonetheless, I remain positive, hopeful, and never stop working towards my goal. At the same time, I volunteered at the Farrows Community Clinic, tutored and mentored youth in juvenile hall, and prepared for the MCAT. I ended up taking this exam twice, since I didn't do as well as I hoped the first time around. I also ended up applying twice, taking a year in between. I didn't have the proper guidance and support the first time around, but I sought out more mentors and support, much like many of you will have to find when you are applying to graduate programs or looking to prepare for your first job interview. I encourage you all to take full advantage of all of these resources. I wish I had done so. It probably would have made navigating through the admission system a lot easier. I applied for a second time, and I am proud to say that I will be attending UC Davis School of Medicine this July, which is truthfully a dream come true. I believe that people who make their dreams come true are the rarest few. It takes so much sacrifice, knocking on doors over and over again, failure, and most importantly, learning from that failure. But they can indeed become a reality. I also understand that there is a great deal of fear and uncertainty involved. I was undocumented most of my life, and I know many people in the same situation who basically said it's pointless. I won't achieve much because of this. Many of my family members didn't believe I could do this either. They would encourage me to get a job, work more hours, or learn a fast trade like construction or car mechanics. I remember when I returned home from from San Diego and told one of my childhood peers about my desire to become a doctor. Come on, bro. We Mexican. We don't do that. That's what he told me. So I don't blame any of my relatives who didn't believe that I could get to medical school, including my father. I mean, how many of us that come from these communities achieve these kinds of things? In a way, it is understandable that they believed I was wasting my time, but I never bought into their ideas. I never stopped believing in myself. And guess what? I am Mexican. I am Latino. I am from the hood. And I achieved this. This is what I want all of you to take from this journey of mine. Don't ever stop believing in yourselves. Because the honest truth is that nobody knows what you may be capable of. As humans, with all this scientific studies and all of this data, the fact is that we don't know what the limits of what any individual human being can achieve. The first female Latina president of the United States can be sitting right here, right now. If a kid raised in the Little Mex region of Redwood City, undocumented, high school dropout, spent time locked up, can be accepted to medical school to become a doctor and take care of people's lives, then I am certain that you all have no idea about the kinds of things that you can achieve with the proper guidance, a valuable network, and your hardest, best work. Congratulations to the class of 2021. I hope the next 4 years are COVID free and full of transformative moments wherever your journeys may take you. I look forward to having our journeys meet again once here at this clubhouse as we announce our college graduations. Congratulations once more, class of 2021.